All right, this is the pig dissection, still in the phylum Chordata. As I said, most of the things that we consider animals are actually in this phylum Chordata. The mammals, which we are in that class, the birds, the fish, sharks, and amphibians, reptiles, all of those is in this phylum. And we talked about in our lecture about these different phylums, the four characteristics of the phylum Chordata. But this is the pig dissection. I've got 3 pigs cut open here, and we're going to look at different ones and to see some different things. But I hope this comes through well enough on the video for you to see this. But this is a pig, fetal pig, that is cut open now. You'll notice that the first step is you tie strings to the hooves so that you can set, so it'll be nice and spread out for you. So yes, the first step is hog tying. But then we open up and we're going to see immediately a lot of the major organs. And what's neat about the pig is that that the organs in the pig are basically, if it would stand up on its back legs, is almost identically where our organs are at. So let's take a look at this and go through these together. So the first thing we'll notice is up here is a large, and it's a really tough organ up here. This is the larynx, so this is the voice box. And coming out of the larynx, you'll see that there is a tube here, and that tube has little striations, almost like the top of a bendy straw from McDonald's. This is the trachea. So we got the larynx and the trachea. The trachea is the windpipe. So the air comes through here and will go into the lungs down here. But this is the trachea. Now there's something you need to see other than the trachea. Right underneath the trachea is another tube. And that tube is the esophagus. So I'm going to slice his trachea, but don't worry, he's not really using it right now. Anyway, so slice that trachea, and then with my probe here, I can pick up on it, and hopefully you can see underneath it there's another little tube. I don't know if you can see that or not. Right underneath it there, a little soft tube. That is the esophagus. I'll put the pointer inside of it right there. So there's the esophagus, and this is the trachea. Trachea is a tough cartilaginous tube. The esophagus is a muscle, and so when you swallow, you flex that muscle, starting at the top, and then it goes down, but it flexes so fast you don't even realize it's doing. But what it does is it pushes the food down into the stomach. Now the next thing we need to look at here in this is, so here's the head going down, here's the larynx and the trachea and the esophagus, and right here in the middle, this is the heart. So, and around the heart, just like in us, see the lobes there on either side. So we have the 2 lungs, and they are in lobes with the way our lungs are in lobes too. So larynx, trachea, esophagus, heart, and lungs. Now see this big 3-lobed organ there. That is the liver. Now the liver filters the blood. For the digestive system, the liver produces bile, and that bile is stored in a little gland right underneath, if I can pull this back enough for you to see it, which I can't do it from that angle. Let's see here. So if you can see right here, there's a little sac, and there's a tube that runs down, this is the stomach here, into the stomach. This is the gallbladder. So the liver produces bile, and it's stored in this little sac right here. And then when you are digesting fats, the gallbladder will secrete the bile into the stomach, and that will help it digest fats. All right, so we have the liver, and we got the stomach. Now notice coming across the stomach is this little tongue-like thing, and it's attached to the stomach by a membrane. So it lays right on top of the stomach. Looks like, really, really thin, like a little tongue. That's the spleen. And then the stomach empties out here, and you see the curlicues here. That's the small intestines. Get a piece of the liver off of it there. And so the small intestines curl around until finally it empties into this large, see if I can find the coil of the large intestine. Right here is the coil of the large intestines, right there. And so you see how much thicker it is there, but it coils around and then comes out through here. And so here is the descending colon there, and it goes out here to the anus, the rectum and the anus. And so the small intestines, again, is where the sugars and the amino acids and the nutrients are all absorbed into the bloodstream. So the heart is pumping. There's a lot of capillary beds here in the small intestines. The villi are just loaded with those capillaries, and it's picking up the sugars and delivering it throughout the body. Now, as we go down a little bit further, get this out of the way, you'll see there's two, drain this a little bit. You see there's two organs, one there and there's one here. Those are the two kidneys. And the kidneys, of course, recycle the water and get rid of metabolic waste that it forms urine and it goes out. Now, on this flap here, see if I can move the camera down a little bit. This flap, this is actually, the umbilical cord is right here. This pig was never born. Typically they come from slaughterhouses where they're killing the female pig, and if she has babies, they will preserve them. But this sac here in the middle is the urinary bladder, and on either side of it, there's two tubes here. Those are the umbilical arteries. So those umbilical arteries come up through here, through the umbilical cord, and then go into the mother. So this baby pig is getting all of its nutrients and its oxygen and the things that it needs from mom's bloodstream at this point. Has not been born yet. And I believe that's about all we need to know from this pig. Now let me grab another one and show you what I've done is another pig. I've removed all this stuff here so that we can see behind this pig. All right, so this is where the stomach and small intestines and large intestines were. You can see the kidneys here real well, I hope. There's one right here. This is a kidney, and there's one right down here. There's the other kidney right there. But notice this big tube. There's a tube that comes all the way up through here. See that tube there? Actually, I cut it open whenever I was dissecting it. That is the dorsal aorta. So blood will come from the heart and be pumped down through the dorsal aorta to deliver blood with oxygen all throughout the lower half of the body. And then the vena cavas will bring the blood back to the heart to receive more oxygen to be pumped to the lungs. And so on this pig, just to show you here real quick, if I can spin it around. All right. This was much darker. This is a much, this is still a fetal pig, not born yet, but this is more developed. There's the large heart there in the middle. Here's the lungs around either side of it. And up here is the urinary bladder with the aorta, the umbilical arteries. Now let me show you one more pig. This one is... Again, you can see really well on this one, if I can get it positioned here right. Here is the trachea. There is the larynx. You can see those little striations. Looks like the bendy straw from, from McDonald's. But that's the trachea. So larynx and trachea. Here is the heart. And on either side of the heart is the lungs. Then we have the liver down here. Then the stomach. See if I can get this so you can see the bottom section here. All right, so here is the liver. This is the stomach. Right here is that tongue-like spleen that is attached to it. Then the small intestines spin around and empties out into the large intestines down here at the bottom. And again, here is that urinary bladder, and there's one of the umbilical arteries. The other one is tucked here behind it. There's the other one. So that is the pig. If you take this test, and again, you have the option of doing a paper which describes all these organs and their functions. If you do the test, I will have pigs like this cut open. with pins in the various organs that you need to know, and you will have to identify them. So we will talk about when we're going to be doing that. It looks like it might be fall semester, maybe late summer. We'll have to wait and see how this pandemic progresses. But there will be 3 pigs cut open, one with the upper part, the larynx, the trachea, the heart, the lungs. Another one where we'll do the stomach, the small intestines, large intestines, spleen, liver, and there'll be the 3rd pig cut open with the stomach and the intestines removed, so you can see the kidneys and the dorsal aorta, the urinary bladder, and the umbilical arteries. So that is what you need to know for the test. I am going to send you out PowerPoints also that has diagrams with it labeled. They're not real pigs, they are drawings, so it helps you to see these real ones. Again, if you don't want to do these tests, just write the paper that I'm going to post onto Moodle, and that needs to be turned in by April 28th, and you'll be able to get a grade by the time the semester ends. So thanks. Hope you all are all staying well, and hopefully we'll see you real soon.